to contractual obligations, we must leave this program to bring you the following event. The heart of Atlanta, Valley Sports South and Valley Sports Southeast. The heart of the fan.
The Braves took home field advantage up in Milwaukee. They took advantage of home field today. They take Game 3. Cue the Yogi Berras. We welcome you to Braves Live postseason. It's presented by Xfinity. Deja vu all over again, fellas. Back-to-back 3-0 shutouts over the Brewers. And the Braves now, destiny in their own hands, can wrap up this division series with Game 4 tomorrow. What a game in Atlanta. Braves 3, Milwaukee 0. As we welcome you to the stage outside the Battery Atlanta, where the Braves enjoyed a sellout crowd and a wonderful pitching and pinch-hitting performance. Hi again, everybody. Chip Carey, along with Paul Bird, along with Brian Jordan. What a day for the Braves, who take a 2-1 series lead in this best-of-5 National League Division Series. Guys, it's been an amazing run for Atlanta these last 2 ball games. And as it so often does in postseason play, today's game came down to one fateful inning for both clubs.
Unbelievable. I got to say this. Wow. I can barely hear right now. It's going absolutely crazy. BJ, what a game. They bounced back. Incredible.
You know what? We knew runs were going to be at a premium. But the pitching has been fantastic for the Braves. And what big play after big play, these guys get it done. It's fun to watch, folks.
Good pitching, good defense, timely hitting. It was all there for the Braves in Game 3 of this series. Again, a 3-0 final score. But as I said a second ago, our 4 keys, the 5th inning, both offensively and defensively for the Braves, Paul.
Top of the 5th, Ian Anderson. Now, Urias with the hit by pitch right here. He's fantastic. Just on the pinky. That gets him started. And then an incredible at-bat by Narvaez. Watch this pitch. Changeup down. Ian Anderson, such a good changeup all day. Got to credit the hitter right here. Good job getting this ball in. Now, watch Houdini get out of it. This is absolutely incredible. You got to make your pitches. Every pitch counts. Check it out, the play by Dansby. He's got more saves than any closer in either league. He is fantastic. Not done yet, though. Here it is, Riley with the throw home. Good play. Runner does not advance on this, BJ. Will take it. Now you feel really good, but you got a runner in scoring position. You got to make your pitch right here. More defense for the Atlanta Braves. I love it when my first baseman is 6'6". The line drive, Freddie, the snag, it's all over. And right there, the Brewers, your sails are deflated.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bertie, momentum swung from Milwaukee. They had second and third, nobody out. They don't score. And then the Braves come up, Brian, and it's the bottom of the order that gets it done.
And, you know, we talked about it because Ian Anderson was coming up third this inning. We were like, oh, do you leave him in the ball game? But Darno ended that discussion with a single. And how about Dansby Swansea going the opposite way for a single? Man on first and second. And who else do you bring up for Ian Anderson? Mr. Joctopia. How about that? The pearls are working. He goes, yeah. You gotta love it. A 3-run homer by Jock. He's 3 for 3 right now as a pitch hitter. This guy is incredible. He's made big hits after big hits throughout his playoff career. You gotta love his attitude, and you gotta love the pearls.
Yeah, it looks like and it feels like Mardi Gras. Everybedy's got the beads in Atlanta. So from pearls for Brian Jordan and Paul Bird, let's get some pearls of wisdom from Kelly Kroll, who's standing by with Jock Peterson. Kelly?
Well, now I don't know which one we go to. Is it your 11th postseason career home run that's bigger, or the fact that you've done it twice now off Adrian Hauser, and how big was it this afternoon?
I don't know. I don't really look at all that, but I think just helping the team win, it feels good, and that's a big team win in front of an awesome crowd at home. Ian pitched great, and then our bullpen came in and was able to shut the door. Great defensive plays. It's fun to be a part of.
Describe Ian Anderson's performance this afternoon.
Special. You know, he commanding both his pitches and keeping a really good offensive team off the bases and from scoring. So it's hard to do.
Okay, someone zoomed in on the bat you were using for that home run. You want to tell us the story behind Anthony Rizzo's bat?
Nothing. Just Bighorn gets a lot of hits, so I snagged one of his bats before I left. I used it a few times over there and took it up there. So Riz has that special October strength too. So thanks, Bighorn.
It appears to be working for y'all, Jacques. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jock. Thanks, Kelly. Whether it's the bat or the pearls, who cares? Jock Peterson in this postseason series, 3 for 3 with 2 homers. I'd say that's pretty good.
You know, it's excellent. And I love the fact that he's staying on the bench, coming off with big hits, because you don't want to change the chemistry in this outfield. It's been working all playoff series, so stick with it. He's a big-time player, and I love his interview, man. He's so laid back. He's so smooth, and the pearls look really good.
I got to say this. There's a lot of energy behind me. It's insane. There's a lot of energy on Twitter as to, hey, why do we not start this guy instead of bring him off the bench? Your call.
You know what? Because everything's working out perfect right now. He's been terrific off the bench, so why change anything? If you're Brian Snicker, stay with what's working. This guy has been clutch all series long off the bench. I'm afraid if you start him, it may not be the same. Mentally, it changes your approach. And I don't want Jock Peterson's approach changing right now.
How about the moxie of Ian Anderson in this ballgame? Remember, the Braves had a base running gaffe early in the game that cost him the first run of the game.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to bother Ian Anderson, Paul Burt. He was great. 5 innings, 3 hits, shutout baseball. His postseason ERA now, incredible, 0.76.
No, it was unbelievable. And let's be honest, during the season, at times, he had trouble in that first inning. So we weren't sure what we were going to get in the first inning. How long is it going to take him to settle down? But he came out throwing that changeup right out of the gate. It looked like it was 3rd, 4th, 5th inning ready. He pitched righties in with that changeup. He threw his fastball. He was in total command. No walks for this young man. ERA under 1 in the postseason. Wow.
You know, I was really nervous about Ian Anderson because he hasn't been efficient in his last 3 starts. His pitch count goes up. He gets in 3-2 counts a lot, but he was very efficient today. I think he learned from Freed and Morton and really changed his approach today. He got it done, and with minimal pitches, guys.
6 strikeouts for Ian Anderson, no walks. That's the other big key. The Braves, starting 3 in this series so far, have issued a grand total of 1 walk in 17 innings. They are not hurting themselves with the base-off balls. Man, it's great to be back in Atlanta. Packed house, sellout crowd at Truist Park. They head home happy. The Braves shut out Milwaukee in Game 3 of this division series. 3-0 is your final score. We'll continue with Braves Live postseason edition from Truist Park after the break. Braves Live is brought to you by Landmark Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, by Xfinity X5. Experience a powerful and secure Wi-Fi connection for all your devices. And by Georgia Natural Gas. Go green and save some too with G&G. This is what the playoffs are supposed to feel like. Last year in COVID, we didn't have big crowds at Truist Park. No big crowds anywhere. But they are packing the battery tonight, and they are having a great time. It feels like Mardi Gras, as we said. Braves 3, Milwaukee 0. Atlanta leads this best-of-5 series 2-1. One reason why, the great start by Ian Anderson, who's standing by with Kelly Crow. Kelly.
Well, Ian, 5 scoreless innings this afternoon, 6 strikeouts. What was the key to your success this afternoon against the Brewers?
I think we just kind of stuck to the game plan. We're filling the zone up, and Travis stayed with me in those jams, and we were able to pitch out of him. So the changeup was really good, and the defense was unbelievable. So you can't give those guys enough credit.
Well, we were just joking. It's a little bit different with fans in the stands this year, but in your 5 postseason starts now, I'm going to throw this your way. Your ERA a .76. Ian, what is it about the big stage?
I don't know. I mean, it's just, I think everything's just that much more important. Every pitch, every move, everything you do. So, I like that extra sense of focus, and I think I've been able to kind of use that to my advantage.
Well, let's go back to the top half there of the 5th inning before the runs were put up. A Houdini act by you and the defense behind you. I think about that, the rundown with Austin Riley and Travis d'Arnaud. Just what were you thinking in that moment?
Yeah, I was just trying to make pitches. What those guys do every day, you see them put the work in, they can make the plays, and they always seem to step up on the big stage too. So just make my pitches and find a way to get out of it, and that's what happened.
Last but not least, are you buying in on the pearls?
Yeah, I think you have to at this point. I think the fans are buying in. I think it's unbelievable. So he does it. He loves it.
They call him Jocktober for a reason, right? Ian, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was brilliant, guys. No doubt about it. 5 innings for Ian Anderson, just 3 hits. And as you said, Brian, a lot of folks still wonder about Ian Anderson, who qualified as a rookie still this year, how he was going to fare under this bright spotlight. But he said very consistently that Game 7 of the NLCS last year really helped him move forward in 2021 and perhaps in this start as well.
And that's why I was so comfortable with him starting today, because he's a big-time pitcher, and we know that. Yeah, he had some injuries during the season, not as efficient as we expect. But, man, he got off to a great start. That changeup was unbelievable today. It was like you said, he was Houdini with that changeup because they did not see it coming. And, man, gets off the mound, plays great defense. Excellent day for Ian.
There's certain pitches that even when hitters look for, they can't hit it, like Hoffman's changeup, like Ian Anderson's changeup. They let Yelich the curveball early, but then he started to show that changeup. It's on the scouting report. It's there, but they still struggled. Never hurts to get great defense like you did right there by Dansby.
Yeah.
Riley as well. Great players out there.
And that was my next point, Paul. Ian Anderson got 15 outs in this game. 5 ground ball outs, 6 strikeouts. The way Atlanta's defense played today has been the way they've played all year long. Why wouldn't you use that infield if you can? And it's clear he could and did.
Absolutely. And when I'm pitching and I know that I don't just have great hitting, I have good defense, I'm not afraid of contact. So I don't got to walk guys. I can be less precise in the zone, go for a third when I need to. Let a guy hit a ball on the ground. It's hard to hit. So when you do that, the next thing you know, you're in that game with 84 pitches, 5th inning. You're in the playoffs, and you've overmatched a very, very good team. And I think defense, offense, this is a very complete Atlanta Braves infield.
And you know what? The pitchers know that. And they're not worried about strikeouts all the time. Like you said, they're pitching the contact because they know this defense is going to make the plays. That was a phenomenal play by Dansby to get Ian out of that inning. So you better believe those guys down in the bullpen are watching that. And the great thing about it, it wasn't until Luke Jackson came in with a walk. Pitchers are not walking these guys, and I think that is the key to this series. They are attacking the strike zone, saying, hit me if you can, and that's why we're up 2-1.
Let's go, Luke. Pick it up.
I don't think anybody has any complaints. He's been terrific, albeit with a little traffic in the first 3 games of this series. In these 3 games, all very close games, runs will come at a premium. Both Craig Counsell and Brian Snitker have faced difficult decisions as to how to manage their pitcher. By that I mean, when do you take your shot offensively? Today it was Craig Counsell's turn. Freddie Peralta was pitching great after the base running mistake got him off the hook. They went for it with Daniel Vogelbach pinch hitting. That move backfired. Atlanta then pinch hit for Ian Anderson and got the 3-run homer from Jock.
You really can't blame Counsell here because you gotta, every inning is so crucial in playoffs, and you gotta take advantage of that big chance that you have to win the ball game. So I was smiling hugely when he had to take Peralta out of the ball game, but you can't blame him there. That situation came up. I think any manager would take their chances on winning the ball game right there. Unfortunately, it worked out for the Braves.
I do think it was a mistake. I understand the thinking. But I do think it was a mistake. Here's why. It's not April, and I know they have Josh Hader, but I don't feel that they have the Braves bullpen. I don't think they can cover 5 innings as well as the Braves bullpen can. I do understand it. You're right. Everything's magnified. But I'm going to say that he wishes he had that one to do over again.
I wonder if the situation's different. If there's nobody out, I'll bet he lets Peralta hit for himself, and then he's got 2 more shots to get the game tied. But it didn't work out. Great play by Atlanta's defense, and Atlanta took advantage with a 3-run homer. And you hear the crowd behind us chanting, "Let's go Braves." Place was packed today. Standing room only tickets. And we hope you'll join us for Game 4. There are limited tickets left for a chance to see the Braves clinch and move to the NLCS for a second consecutive season. Get your Braves tickets at Braves.com/postseason. What a day in Atlanta. Braves shut out Milwaukee again. Final score, Atlanta 3, Brewers nothing. Jock Peterson got on top. Braves get on top in the series. They lead it 2-1, and we continue with Braves Live postseason edition from the Battery Atlanta after this. Braves Live is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Cook's Pest Control, you don't have to live with pests. And by Visit Mississippi, Wanderers, welcome. Braves win Game 3 of the Division Series 3-0 over the Milwaukee Brewers. 9 scoreless innings by the Atlanta Relief Corps, a big part of the first 3 games of this set. Let's talk things over with the Braves manager, Brian Snitker, who's standing by to meet the media.
Well, I'm just thinking I'm glad the way it worked out that I could get him a right-handed at bat. That's the biggest thing. You know, I'm going to try and pop him on a right-hander as soon as I can, whether it was 2 out, nobody on. So I'm huge hits by obviously Travis and Dansby to set that table right there.
Gabe.
And Snit, what about the job Ian did to pitch out of that and the defense that was played behind?
Unbelievable. Both things. You know, I talked earlier about how Ian in some previous starts was kind of getting the feel of the change, the fastball command, all that earlier and earlier after he had came back. And today he had it from pitch 1. I mean, it was really, really good from pitch 1. And what he did to get out of the 5th inning was something else.
David.
Snit, you've seen Jock now in a couple of our 3 postseason games where he's gone 3 for 3 with 2 homers. What about him do you think you have seen that made him so successful in these situations with the Dodgers? Because he's doing it again with you guys.
Well, he's been in these situations a lot, number 1, I think. Number 2, that guy's got no heartbeat at all. No, I mean, it's like he's on the playground. Playing against him in the postseason the last few years, you could tell that. I mean, it's just, I don't know that, you know, he doesn't, he just slows things down, you know, and has his at bat, and it's a really focused, I think it's a very talented young man, and he really slows everything down and doesn't get caught up in anything other than his at bat, I think. I mean, and he's been very successful in the postseason.
Mark?
Is he one of those guys that swagger is real? I mean, that confidence is real?
No, it is. It is for real. I mean, he's a guy that, you know, that attracts people. I mean, his persona and all, you know, I've really enjoyed getting to know him. I mean, he's something else. I mean, in a good way. I mean, it's, you know, and you see, you know, interact with his kids, and he's an awesome guy. Awesome guy.
Following that up, what does he bring to a clubhouse? And also, is there any chance that you might show up in pearls tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I won't show up in pearls. No, he just, you know, he brings, again, he's kind of like some of these other guys that, you know, you trade for him, you come in, he's been in the big moment, in the big stage, and he's performed, and I think guys appreciate that. They respect that. You know, and you know, Jock's Jock, I guess maybe you'd say. But we've enjoyed having him here. I know that. The guys love him. I love him. He's an awesome guy. I mean, I've talked to him a few times month ago, and he's like, I'm ready to do whatever you need me to do. You know, and he does. He stays ready. When he's in that batter's box, it's game on. I know that. And he slows it down, and he has skills.
Allison?
Snit, have you thought about who's going to start tomorrow for you guys on the hill?
Thought about it, but we'll, you know, if these games happen, you know, we're in there, we're talking about it, and then later on this afternoon, we'll kind of narrow it down. We've talked to a few guys about some possible scenarios, and we'll narrow it down later on this evening.
Todd?
Council was really talking up Ian's changeup today. He said, you know, they're almost kind of looking for it in some spots, and it was just so good. They just could not hit it. Just you've so seen good. It.
You know, like I said earlier, he had it from the go. I mean, it was really, really good. I mean, I was looking at sometimes I didn't really know what it was till I looked at the velocities. But, you know, as I said earlier, it's as he's come back, he's gotten it quicker and quicker and quicker. You know, there's a couple outings where it took him 4 innings to really get feel. Today he had it from the get-go. I mean, that, you know, big stage, all the people asked me about that, didn't phase. If anything, it helped him.
Yeah, I was going to ask you mentioned Jock having no heartbeat. Seems like he's like a slow heartbeat guy too, right? I mean,
yeah, no, I mean it's you know, and Ian's been through a lot, and like I said earlier, in a short major league career, and pitched a lot of postseason games, and he went to bed knowing he had the NLCS deciding game, Game 7. That's huge for a young kid, and then today, I mean, it's that's the thing that attracts you to Ian, why he's going to be so good, and that intangible that he has, and the confidence in himself, and he likes it. I mean, you know, because people ask me about the crowd, it didn't faze him one bit. I mean, like I said, I thought he would, and he did feed on it.
Is Charlie on short rest on the table for tomorrow?
Everybody's on the table tomorrow.
Everybody's on it. Now, I think he's only done it once in his career, and that was like back in 2008. Is that, how much of a consideration might that be when you make your decision?
Everybody's on the table.
Okay.
Jeff?
Given the struggles you guys had back in May, is this kind of a surrealistic...
Don't do that to me, Terrence.
Is this kind of a surrealistic moment for you right now?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I told people even in June and the 1st of July. I mean, if you'd have told me we're going to be sitting here right now like this, I'd you know, just where we were kind of, like I said, I don't even know if we were treading water. Like I said, we had a straw going up through the base, sucking air. You know, we weren't even at the top. And yeah, it is a little bit. You know, I always believed in the guys. And I've said many times over the last 6 months that just keep waiting for when we're going to have our run, because I knew we would at some point in time. And then we had it, and you know, we got to first place and we kept it. So yeah, I'm so proud of these guys. We're to be sitting here right now talking to y'all, a game away from going to the NLCS again. Who knows what's going to happen? But you know what? That we put ourselves in this position is a credit to all those guys in that room.
Okay, we'll take a couple more. Jeff, go ahead.
You were asked about lineups the other day. I'm just curious with Jock, do you just prefer to have him for these, like, you know, these unique
I like
roles?
having him for that. What's to say I'm going to do? You know what? My head hits the pillow, and I toss and turn, and things come about, and I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. Quite honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't. You know, shoot, I don't know. You know, so yeah, I'm. Anything could happen when I wake up. I'll have a chance. Actually, I'll have a chance to get a cup of coffee tomorrow before I come to the ballpark. I didn't want to risk it today. If you know what I mean.
On that note, we'll take one more.
What can you say about your entire pitching staff? I think it's been 19 innings since the Brewers have scored a run. Yeah. Not just Ian, but all of them.
Well, I can't say enough about them. Just what they've done and in this environment. And, yeah, they've been awesome. You know, the starting pitching, we've had 3 really strong starts. And the bullpen's just been so good. And they have been for a long time. You know, and you know, they pick each other up and they execute, and these are, you know, what they've done. It's been really good, really good.
Okay, we'll take one more in the back.
A positive and negative two-parter. Number one, what did you see in the second with that play with Adam at second, and then just with Will and what he's been able to do in these last few outings?
No, that wasn't a good play by Adam. I mean, I talked to him about it, you know. I mean, he agrees, you know. It was probably just kind of a getting caught up in the moment and for a number of reasons. You know, I mean, that's one of the guys that he's doesn't make mistakes. And he did right there, and he'd tell you if he came in there right now and sat down, he'd say, I screwed up. And what was the other one? Will's been awesome. Unbelievable. That's why he's got almost 40 saves. You know, sometimes he creates his own trouble, but he's always you know, there's a lot of them guys are like that, though. Shoot, it's my hat's off to Will, the way he hangs in there and turns a page, and just like I say, he's done a great job for us this year. He's always shows up. Like I said, when that phone rings, Will never doesn't answer it. Believe me, he's ready to go and never makes any excuses. He's accountable. He's what they're made of.
So a lot to unpack there with Braves manager Brian Snitker. Let's start with the end of the game. Tip your cap to Will Smith, fellas. Back-to-back saves for the Braves. His first 2 postseason saves. Today's a little easier than we've seen in the past.
I love what Snitker said. He was very honest. He said, look, at times he creates his own trouble. Would we love for when he comes into the game, it be absolutely over? Yeah, but not like that. But more times than not, he does the job up around that 87 to 90% closer rate. I'm okay with that. Just understand when he comes in the game, it may not be clean.
You know, I take my high blood pressure pills before, my heart pills before, but you know what? I give him a lot of credit. He gets it done. He finds a way. Yeah, he may get into trouble, but this guy knows how to pitch. And 40 saves, is it? It's unbelievable how he gets it done, but he does. So you cannot say anything bad about him, but it's stressful.
It is. And let me say this. It doesn't matter what you did in July.
Right.
It matters if you're hot right now, and this is the time, it's go time.
And the Braves bullpen has been exactly that, guys. You can't pitch any better than the Braves relief corps has pitched in this series. By my count, guys, 9 scoreless innings. Yes, there's been traffic, but 9 scoreless innings. What about the job the relief corps did today, Brian?
How about Chavez comes in and throws 8 pitches and gets out of the inning? I love his aggressiveness. He threw nothing but strikes. And I think he sent a message to the other part of the bullpen. Madzik. Yeah, Madzik hasn't been great, but he's getting the outs. He's getting himself in trouble, pitching out of it. So you got to give this bullpen a lot of credit, Paul.
How about two-sport man, a football player? The bullpen's just like the offensive line. They only put the camera on you when you mess up. Well, bullpen, check it out. We're giving you a shout-out right now because you're hot and you deserve every bit of it.
Milwaukee's offense 0 for 16 with runners in scoring position in the first 3 games of this series with the Braves. That's as much a part of why Atlanta leads. Brewers haven't gotten big hits because the Braves pitching staff, bullpen especially, has been lights out, and they were again today. Time to send it downstairs. Ian Anderson, Dansby Swanson, pitching and defense, hand in hand. They're hand in hand downstairs. Let's hear what they had to say after the Braves 3-0 win.
I mean, I think throughout last year even, you know, first start was against the Yankees. You know, it's like no better way to throw a guy into the fire than to come up and throw against a club like that. And I feel like every situation he's handled beautifully. You know, even throughout this year with some of the adversity and ups and downs, and then the little shoulder injury that had him on IL for a little bit and come back and really find his groove, especially towards the end. And then, like I said, into the playoffs, it's remarkable to see a guy compete like that. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is the compete factor. I love being able to play behind him. You know, love having him on our team, obviously, and it's just a joy to watch and to just see the growth each and every day.
Allison.
For both of you guys, can you describe to us what Jock is like as a teammate? And when you see him come in to pinch hit, do you just expect him to have a big, moment like that?
Yeah, it's funny just because we saw him last year, at the end, and to have him now on our team we're all ecstatic, and what he's been able to do just from the personality he is and the big spots he's kind of stepped up in is. It's something else, and they say some guys are built for it, and he's the epitome of that, I would say.
I think the biggest compliment I've ever been able to give him really is just he's the same no matter the situation, no matter the day, no matter the time. Jock Peterson is Jock Peterson, and it's such a joy. Like he brings so much energy to our team. I told him the other day that no environment ever dictates who he is. He's the same guy in every situation, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why he's so successful come this time of year.
Gabe?
Dansby, you had high expectations with Charlie, Max, and Ian coming into this. Now that you've seen what they've been able to do here these 3 days, I mean, how impressed have you been, and would you say they've maybe even been better than you could have envisioned?
No, I think that's kind of the expectation around here. At this time of the year, you're as good as your pitching, your defense, and your opportunistic hitting. And I feel like we've been able to check all those boxes each and every game so far. They've been tremendous. Just the preparation. I'd be remiss if I didn't give Travis his due too, because he's been on point with pitch calling, and these guys have been on point with their pitch execution. So the combination of the two really has been huge. Like you said, Charlie in game 1, then Max was lights out too, and then Ian today, and the rest of the bullpen as well. It's a team effort, but those guys have stepped up big time.
David?
Dansby, just going back to what your pinch hitter has done now twice in this series, and then last year, the last several years with the Dodgers in the postseason. It's not coincidence, right, that a guy comes up like Jock has in those big pressurized moments and does that again and again and again?
Yeah, I mean, I think the sample size is big enough now, right, that that's just who he is. He's was in an organization before coming here that obviously had high expectations just like we do, and he was thrown into pressure situations, the last, 5 or 6 years. And like I said, it's important to have those guys on your team come this time of year that you can throw them into any situation and you expect them to be able to produce. And, he just comes up with big at-bat after big at-bat. So, like Ian said, I'm glad he's on our team.
In the back.
One for Ian, one for Dansby. Just Ian, that 5th inning right there, those runners on 2nd and 3rd, are you looking over your shoulder at all, or are you thinking, this is my inning, I got this? And then Dansby, just for you guys being in this situation the last couple of years, I mean, do you feel like that's helping you ride the highs and lows of what this time of year is?
I think, when you have a defense behind you like we do, you're never out of an inning. You know that you got a chance to get out of any jam, and I think they kind of showed that with the diving play he made. I kind of, that settles you down without a doubt, getting the first out. But yeah, I wanted to get through that inning, get those 3 outs, and just keep trying to make pitches. And Travis stayed with me, and the defense was phenomenal to get out of that inning, and that kind of, for me, that was kind of one of the turning points in the game. And then that's what we kind of pride ourselves on with the work these guys put in with Wash every day. It's you're not surprised when they make the plays they make.
Yeah, I think the only way to gain experience is to go through these kinds of moments, right? And we've been able to this is our 4th time in a year, or 4th time in a row now doing it. And in those moments, you just understand that each pitch, each play can determine, a win and a loss. And to be able to stay locked in is something that I feel like we've learned. And that's not necessarily easy to do when we were younger, just because those situations are so big. But I feel like each time we've gotten better. And you can see that we've been able to improve each year at this point. But, we got to continue that again tomorrow. I feel like you're only as good as next day's starter. You're only as good as the preparation for the next day. So tomorrow we're going to come back, do the same thing, prepare like we always do, and go out and compete.
Todd?
Ian, Craig Counsell was saying that sometimes he thought the hitters were actually looking changeup, but it was so good today that they just couldn't get him. Wondering how you felt about it coming out of the bullpen in that 1st inning and then obviously throughout.
Yeah, it was definitely a good pitch day for me. I saw Charlie and Max have the success with the big curveball, and that's kind of, it's tempting to go to that, but that's not really my style. So yeah, the changeup was good, and that's the pitch I went to, trying to get out of jams. And like I said, with these guys behind you, it's, you have the confidence to throw it, and Travis was putting it down. So the confidence is there, throw it with conviction, and
see what happens.
And then Dansby, when you see him like throw a couple in the first inning and you see it's working pretty well, do you almost say like, all right, today's gonna be a good day? Like,
I faced it the other day. It was my first time ever seeing it. It's pretty freaking good, and I feel like today, kind of like Craig had mentioned that. Even sometimes when you're looking at it, sometimes it's so good it's hard to square up, and I feel like the location is really the biggest thing. And I feel like Ian was throwing it in good spots all day, and it's hard to hit when pitchers throw it where they want it, even if you know it's coming or if you're looking for it. It really is tough.
And then Snit tomorrow said everything's on the table for her as a starter, including maybe Charlie on short rest, and just wondering what you guys would think about having Charlie on short rest and a clincher.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I mean, his resume speaks for himself. So what he's meant to this team, the mentorship he's kind of given to me and Max and all of our starters, and just the calming presence he gives to the whole team has been huge. So I think we'd love to have him out there.
For both of you, I know you both knew that Jock had a unique personality when he came to the team, but I'm just curious what your first reaction was when you first saw him wearing pearls in the clubhouse, and how that compares to maybe any other unique teammates you might have had through the years.
As shocking as it wasn't shocking.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like I said, Jock is Jock, and I love having him around. Like I said, I can't mention it enough just how much of a joy he's been to be here and just keep things light. My one kind of like personality comp I've always said was similar to Donaldson, just because JD was JD all the time, Jock is Jock all the time, and it's such a pleasure to have that around, here and mix in with the different personalities that we have as well. So yeah, we love Jock.
You know what else we love is great defense. And you mentioned it earlier, guys. A couple of great plays by Dansby Swanson, who has made 3 errors in his last 100 games. Austin Riley, 4 or 5 errors in his last 90. Ozzie Albies almost never makes an error. This is a rare Atlanta defense in that you have 4 guys that could all win the Gold Glove in the same season, and they showed you today how important that is.
Give a lot of credit to Ron Washington. Yeah. He's doing a great job with this infield, but if you want to look back at this game and say who made the most impact defensively, it was all about Dansby Swanson. Lorenzo Kane, a chance to blow this game open, take a lead. He makes a diving play and makes a perfect throw to first base. And then you got Yelich up here, the speedy Yelich. He makes an unassisted double play here. Just a great effort and really kept the game under control defensively, and that gave this offense and this team all the momentum in the world.
What's that mean to a starting pitcher or a reliever for that matter?
I'm going to be honest, I don't even care if my shortstop, my center fielder, or my catcher hits, because it's such a crucial defensive position.
Yeah.
So when I get 27 home runs out of my shortstop during the regular season and I get great defense, that is a very special player. He makes the incredible play, and yet he also makes the everyday average play, and that's not easy to do. So I think he's underrated, and I love that he's on this team. I love that you gave a shout-out to Ron Washington. Ron, if the Padres call, don't go. Your home is right here.
But you know what? Playoff time. What wins games? Pitching, defense, and that's been perfect this series for the Atlanta Braves, and that's why they're up 2-1.
Run prevention is as important as run production, and it has been that way for the Braves in this series. They lead 2-1 over the Brewers, and we hope to wrap up a division series clinching game tomorrow night with Braves Live postseason edition. We'll be with you for every postseason game the Braves play on Bally Sports South, Bally Sports Southeast, and of course live on the Bally Sports app. Atlanta with back-to-back 3-0 wins. Ian Anderson 3-0 in his postseason career. Jock Peterson a 3-run homer. And the Braves 1 win away from advancing to the NLCS. Braves Live is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Truist. BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist. Party's just getting started here at the Battery Atlanta. Braves shut out Milwaukee at Game 3 of the Division Series. 3-0 is your final score. Welcome back to our Plaza stage. Chip Carey, Paul Bird, Brian Jordan, If you weren't here today, you still have a chance to get tickets for Game 4 of the series. Chance for the Braves to wrap it up and get ready for either the Giants or the Dodgers. There are limited seats available, so we hope you'll join us for that. But if you weren't here, here's what happened. It was a great game. A little hairy at first, fellas, but the Braves found a way to get themselves into and out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, every run is important, and the Braves had an early chance to take the lead in this ball game when Riley got the base hit here in the second inning to really get things started. Darno. He hits a deep fly ball here, and that gets...
Yelich camps out there thinking easy sack fly, right? But Duvall breaks on the play too, Brian, and before Riley can score, Duvall's tagged out. The Braves don't get a run.
Yeah, and I'm surprised at Adam Duvall here. You know, you hit it to left field, Yelich, yeah, his arm is not that strong. You want to take a chance, but then you can't afford to go and get tagged before that run scored. And I was really surprised that he didn't stop and go back to first base.
So a game of momentum swings. The Braves don't score. Milwaukee, Paul, comes right back. Fifth inning, 2 on, nobody out against Ian Anderson.
And a really good job from Rosario keeping that ball in the park. That is not an easy play off the carom. And then again, this is big. We've seen the play by Dansby. But coming home, absolutely huge getting in this rundown. Runner does not advance. And as a pitcher, you feel like you have second life right here. And that's all that was needed.
That was a sequence where they pulled Peralta out of the game. Vogelbach can't get it done. Great play by Dansby Swanson, and that rocket shot line drive to Freddie Freeman ends the inning. Brewers second, third, nobody out. Can't score. Another momentum swing. This time it's in favor of the Braves, who bring up Jock Peterson.
And boy, Jock Peterson, he lives for these moments. He comes up 2 men on, and he goes yah to the chop house and gets the 3-0 lead, and that's all the offense the Braves needed. The bullpen took over and did a fantastic job.
How did he get on top of that pitch?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Tomahawk.
He finds a way to do it, though. This guy is unbelievable in October, and he continues to excel.
First man since Bernie Carbo with 2 pinch hit homers in the same series. That was the 1975 Red Sox. And then Will Smith, 9th inning, 2 outs, bases empty. Little confusion for the final out, but Adam Duvall puts it away, and the Braves take Game 3 by a 3-0 final score. Clean inning for Will Smith, clean outing for Ian Anderson. Mr. Clean Jock Peterson hits the 3-run homer. Everything went right for the Braves. As you see, the game summary, big stat, guys. Milwaukee without a hit with runners in scoring position in the series. That's as big a reason why the Braves are up 2-1 as anything, in my opinion.
No, you got it. And Braves fans, I love you. You don't miss a thing. But if you are upset with Adam Duvall, he was 2 for 4, single, a triple, and we don't get here without Adam Duvall coming over. Yes, it was a base running blunder. Clean a few of those things up, but bottom line is it's hard to play this game and be error-free from 1 to 9. The Braves overcame it through great pitching, great defense, great energy, heart, and hustle. And just like this battery, this team was rocking in that dugout.
It's a fun day, no doubt, and there'll be more fun to follow tomorrow. Hopefully the Braves a chance to wrap up the series. There are some limited tickets left for you here at Truist Park and the Battery Atlanta. 3-0 is your final score. Go to Braves.com/postseason. And Brian Jordan, by the way, you want to get here early. Brian Jordan throwing out the ceremonial first pitch for Game 4 of what we hope will be a clincher. Won't want to miss that. Won't want to miss the last 2 segments of Braves Live Postgame as we continue from Atlanta. Everybody in Braves country happy. They're a game away from advancing to a best-of-7 series against the Dodgers or the Giants. Atlanta wins Game 3 of the Division Series. Back-to-back 3-0 shutouts over the Brewers, this time on their home field at Truist Park, where we had a standing room only crowd. A lot of questions were answered today. Could Jocktober continue? Would Ian Anderson pitch like he did in the postseason last year? Would the Braves defense hold up? They did. All of those things. But that said, fellas, even with Atlanta ahead 2-1, there's still some big questions for both managers going into Game 4. Most notably, who starts for Atlanta? Who starts for Milwaukee? Paul, if you're Brian Snitker, what do you do tomorrow?
Well, if you're asking me that as a question, I think I got the correct answer. Teacher's edition. Yeah, I go with Charlie Morton. It's a no-brainer for me. Here's why. I go to him and I say, I need 3 or 4 innings tops from you. That's it. Then I come with the Noah for 3, 2 or 3, one time through the order. Then I go with my bullpen day off. Then I got Max Fried for the last game. These Brewers hitters have trouble with curveballs, breaking balls in general, so I don't miss that opportunity. Charlie's a veteran. He didn't go 9 innings out. He's going to be fine. I do that, and then I come back with Fried for the last game. That's my call.
Well, I agree with you, except hopefully Fried will start the next series in the first game, because we're going to win tomorrow, by the way. And I agree, though. Charlie Morton should be the starter. You know, with Milwaukee, they got to go with Burns. He was terrific. And with Peralta only going 4, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Peralta tomorrow, if necessary, at the stretch of that ball game, because he was really good today.
Yeah, it's really simple. The Braves do have a game in hand, right? If they get to Game 5, they've got Max Fried on regular rest. For Milwaukee, they've got 2 must-win games if they want to advance and move to the second round of the playoffs in the National League. Something else to think about, early evening shadows. The game's going to start around 5 o'clock. Does that factor in at all in the decision-making process for Brian Snitker or Craig Counsell?
Great call. I do not want to hit Charlie Morton's curveball in the shadows. Wow, that would be fantastic.
You know what? As a hitter, I hate the shadows. Pitchers have such an advantage. The last thing you want to do as a pitcher is elevate that ball. If I'm Charlie Morton, like you said, tomorrow, with all the shadows, I'm throwing that curveball down in the zone, and I guarantee you Milwaukee hitters will struggle all game long.
Charlie was very efficient, by the way, in Game 1. He just had that sequence. Hit batsman with 2 strikes, then the Tellez homer with 2 strikes. Other than that, he was in complete command up in Milwaukee, so one would think Charlie would be a very, very possible option for the Braves. You heard Brian Snitker say everybody is, shall we say, on call for Game 4 of the series. So up to the minute, here's your Big League Baseball postseason bracket. Braves lead the Brewers 2-1. Giants and Dodgers play later on. That one tied at a game apiece. Tampa Bay and Boston. How about the Red Sox? They came back big and lead that one 2-1. Houston leads the White Sox 2-1. That game was already rained out today. They will try to pick things up tomorrow as the White Sox staved off elimination over the surging Houston Astros in that very, very solid offense for Dusty Baker. Just enough offense for the Braves, just enough defense for the Braves, and bucket loads of great pitching. Atlanta wins Game 3. 3-0 your final score. Final segment on Braves Live postgame from the Battery Atlanta after this. Atlanta, they beat the Brewers in Game 3 of the Division Series. Chip Carey, Paul Byrd, Brian Jordan. We've offered our thoughts on what went right for the Braves, and there was an awful lot of that. Before we say good afternoon, let's send it down to Kelly Kroll for her final thoughts as she joins us from the field here at Truist Park. Kelly?
Well, thanks a lot, Chip. As you guys have been talking about, a very pivotal Game 3 win for the Braves, because now they have a little wiggle room when it comes to Game 4 and their pitching matchup with the Brewers. As far as starting pitchers go, neither manager confirming who they will be putting on the mound and handing the ball to in Game 4, but Brian Snitker saying that everybody's on the table. That includes Charlie Morton on short rest. He hasn't done that in the playoffs since 2008, but it is something they are considering. They also, of course, have Huascar Ynoa. They could go the bullpen route. Either way, you've got Max Fried on normal rest in a Game 5 situation. Now, the Brewers, a little bit different philosophy, because Craig Counsell saying they would not consider Corbin Burns on short rest. So they're going to have to go a different direction. But it was pretty funny, even the lineup and what it'll look like for Game 4. A lot of questions going Brian Snitker's way, because it seemed like a good matchup against Peralta to have Jock Peterson in the starting lineup. We didn't see it, but he still came up with a big pinch hit home run. Would he be in the lineup tomorrow? Snit said, you know what, guys? Anything is possible. I'm just going to wake up and enjoy my cup of coffee, which I didn't get to do today with the early start. So we're going to ease into this Game 4, okay, guys? And just find out who the starters are a little bit later.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, that's the intriguing question. Interesting, Craig Counsell saying it won't be Corbin Burns. He has never started a game on 3 days rest. He has pitched on 3 days rest as a reliever, so that leads you to believe, guys, it might be a bullpen game, which presents its own set of unique challenges for Atlanta in Game 4.
I'm not listening to Counsell right now. He might be setting up this offense not to think about Burns, because if it's me, I'm going with Burns. He was terrific in that first game, and you know if Charlie Morton goes, it's going to be another great matchup. So if I'm Counsell, he made the mistake of taking Peralta out. Don't make the mistake of not starting Burns.
And Brian Sticker, you have said you have trouble sleeping. Here's the secret to sleeping. Start Morton, put your head on the pillow, and all will be well.
If only it were that easy. So we'll find out along with you what the decision for Craig Counsell and Brian Sticker will be before Game 4, which could be the clincher for Atlanta. Everything went right today for the Braves, with one notable exception. Earlier in the game today, Chipper Jones watching the game from his fancy seats. Clank.
You know what? I had a conversation with Chipper after this play. I went down to the booth in that section, and he was actually eating. And he said, I really didn't want to go after the ball, but my family was there, and my kid was sitting next to me, so I had to make the attempt. And by the way, he hurt his thumb on that play, so he is not feeling good right now. But terrible effort right now.
I hate to call him out. You know what I'm saying? He's a Hall of Famer. But that's an E5. And my favorite part was Darno and Freddie Freeman walking over and staring at him like, really?
And let's not forget, Andrew Jones was sitting across from on the outside. It's really not that hard, Chip. So, another light moment for the Braves against the Brewers today. So tomorrow, special treat for us. Need the Braves to keep coming up clutch. Who better to help us get over that hump than Mr. Clutch, Charlie Clutch. Charlie Culberson's going to join us for our Braves Live postseason coverage. Charlie, another guy, guys, with great hair. You can never have too many of those on the postgame show, right?
I'm looking forward to it. I love Charlie Culberson. He came up so big for us, and I hated to see him leave, but it's going to be a great time tomorrow.
Love that throw, one of the best throws I've ever seen. Yes, he's clutch. And Chip, when he got on the mound, 93.7 on the outside corner, I'm jealous.
And sadly, with that 93 on the black, he's not eligible for the postseason roster. He was with the Texas Rangers this offseason. So, Charlie, a great dude. Always great to see the Georgia native back here in Atlanta. He'll join us on the set afterward. That's what he did in his 3 years with the Braves. And of those 17 homers, guys, I'll guess 10, 11 of them were in late inning clutch situations, earning him the name of Charlie Clutch. And look what he did in postseason play. Another reason why he was such a valuable postseason member of this Braves organization.
Yeah, he was incredible in postseason. No other guy I wanted in that lineup up at the plate when the game was on the line besides Charlie.
And when you broadcast tomorrow, Charlie, take it easy on us with the hair. It's the best in the game.
I feel pretty confident, hair or no. Let's get your final thoughts. Game 4. Chance for the Braves to wrap it up. If they do, they enjoy a couple of days of rest and wait for the Dodgers and Giants to finish their series. What do you look for from the Braves and Brewers in what could be the final game of this series here at Truist Park, Brian?
Well, for me, offensively, you got to pace it because the pressure is on the Milwaukee Brewers starting pitching and bullpen. So if I'm a hitter, I'm going to make them use every bullpen guy tomorrow. And I just feel like we have to be in a comfortable position right now. Use Charlie Morton. We got Inoa to back him up. And when you got Max Fried sitting there waiting, if it's necessary, you got to feel good about your chances.
And look, I don't want to talk about the past, but I felt really good in 07 with the 3-game lead up on the Red Sox. They came back 1-3. We're sitting at home. I feel really good right now. It doesn't matter. Don't let this game go back to Milwaukee. You play tomorrow like it's your last. Nail in the coffin. Step on their neck. Do whatever you have to do to win tomorrow.
And if you do, you head to the NLCS for the second straight year. Braves won 3-0 today. They won 3-0 in Milwaukee a couple of days ago, and they'll try to get to win number 3 in this series tomorrow, where there are a few limited tickets available. Bet you they're going fast. Go to Braves.com/postseason before they disappear, and the Braves get set to take on the Giants or the LA Dodgers. What a day in Atlanta. Standing room only crowd saw it all, and we will recap it all for you the rest of the way on Braves Live Postseason Edition after each and every game for you on Valley Sports South, Valley Sports Southeast, and of course on the Valley Sports app. Ian Anderson was terrific. The Braves bullpen, outstanding. Clutch defense for Atlanta, and Jocktober. Yes, it did arrive in Atlanta. His 3-run homer, the difference in the game, and the Braves are on the verge of advancing for the second straight year to the National League Championship Series. For Brian Jordan, for Paul Bird, and the rest of our great crew, Kelly Kroll as well, I'm Chip Carey. Thank you for joining us. Braves win at 3-0 your final. We will see you tomorrow after Game 4 in Atlanta, Georgia. Good night, everybody.